Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Fanatic Rundown. The Edmonton Oilers briefly held home ice advantage, but have given it right back to the Vancouver Canucks, falling 4-3 tonight as the Canucks take a 2-1 series lead. The Canucks doing so, getting 7 shots over the last 2 periods of play, 4 in the second, 3 in the third. They outshot the Oilers 11-9 in the first, picked up 3 of their 4 goals in the first period, and this game was basically won in the first period by the Vancouver Canucks. It looked initially like Brock Besser had a natural first period hat trick, but the first goal that he thought he scored was given to Elias Lindholm instead. Besser picked up an assist on it. He ends up with 2 goals and an assist on the night, and Elias Lindholm would have 2 goals for the Vancouver Canucks. Matthias Ekholm opened the scoring for the Oilers tonight from Evander Kane and Darnell Nurse on the power play. Power plays became a big factor in this one. The Canucks going 2 for 3 on the power play. The Oilers ultimately going 2 for 4. 7 calls overall. It felt like there was a lot more penalties. I know a lot of Oilers fans are upset with the officiating. Vancouver Canucks fans probably as well. That's kind of been the story of this series. Mark Spector did a big story on it at Sportsnet today, saying the Canucks complain too much about officiating and a whole slew of things. But Oilers fans getting right in on complaining tonight as well, and some of it definitely justified. This game was not very well officiated, I didn't think, either way, but ultimately it comes down to the players on the ice getting the job done. The Canucks getting the job done, going 2 for 3 on their power play. The Oilers had a perfect penalty kill against the LA Kings, were perfect in Game 1 against the Canucks in this series, but the Canucks finally broke through with their first power play goal in Game 2, and they get 2 more tonight. So the Oilers slowly getting scrubbed away in that area. The Oilers' power play stays still relatively hot, going 2 for 4, but they definitely needed a goal in the third period there and just could not get anything going. The playoffs are here, and my friends over at Deflect Apparel have everything you need to help cheer on the Oilers in their run for the Stanley Cup. They even have your furry fans covered too. Check them out at deflect.net and use the code FANATIC20 at checkout for 20% off your order. Check out more in the description below and stay tuned for upcoming contests. Artur Shilovs was ultimately the biggest story for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. He stops 42 of 45, and everything the Oilers managed to get through to the net, pretty much, Shilovs had an answer for it. Stuart Skinner, I don't like to rag on Skinner too much, but tonight was certainly not his strongest effort. He ended up being pulled after the second period. He briefly went back in the final minute of the third, but that was more for the Oilers to try and generate some more break time for their top guns. They were trying to tie this game down 4-2, pulled the goalie, and Zach Hyman would make it 4-3, but the Oilers ultimately could not get that tying goal. So Calvin Pickard, making his first postseason appearance in his career, comes in the third, is perfect, but the Vancouver Canucks with only 3 shots, so didn't really test Calvin Pickard too much. This game was pretty much dominated by the Edmonton Oilers on the shot clock, but 45-18 didn't get them what they needed. They still fall 4-3 tonight. That's why a lot of eyes looking towards Stuart Skinner. A poor start for this team in the first for sure. They were obviously much better in the second and the third, outshooting the Canucks 14-4 in the second and 22-3 in the third. That's why you got to say Artur Shilovs, Vancouver Canucks third-string goaltender. He's been their best player in this series, I think, and he's definitely the best player tonight. Well, I guess it's arguable whether he's been the best player in the series, but certainly in Game 3 tonight, he was definitely the difference for the Vancouver Canucks, getting this 4-3 win and ultimately a 2-1 series lead. I know a lot of Oil Country is down and out right now. Certainly not feeling great myself at this point, but ultimately it is still only a 2-1 series lead for the Canucks. Nothing is over yet. Obviously, I'd say pretty much Game 4 is definitely a must-win for this team. To go back to Vancouver down 3-1 would not be an enviable position, so Game 4 definitely this team has to win. But if they turn in another effort like they did tonight, I think their fortunes will turn. They played pretty well for most of this hockey game. Like I said, this game was pretty much just lost in the first period, and the Oilers just couldn't find a way to get it back in the second and third. As far as Stuart Skinner goes, I think Calvin Pickard might get the start in Game 4 just to give this team a new look. I don't think he was ultimately pulled in the third period entirely because of his play. I think head coach Chris Knobloch just wanted to try something new to see if he could get the team going in the third, and they outshot Vancouver 22-3 in the third, so they were trying, but ultimately you've got to get it in the back of the net, and the Oilers need some more from some other players on their roster. Matthias Ekholm, his third of the postseason, Leon Draisaitl, his seventh, and Evan Bouchard, his third. You're seeing the same guys getting the goals, getting the assists. The Oilers definitely need more from their third and the fourth line. Even some guys on their second line. Kane's got, I think he's got a couple of goals here in the postseason, but he has been pretty quiet so far here in the Vancouver series. I think he did hit a post tonight. Derek Ryan hit a post as well. That fourth line of Derek Ryan, Matthias Janmark, and Connor Brown looked pretty strong tonight, but they ultimately couldn't break through either. So I think we're going to see some changes here in Game 4 for the Oilers. I think that's definitely got to be the case with where we sit here. The Oilers, if they turn in, like I said a few moments ago, the same kind of effort in Game 4, they should win, but they got to get more from the bottom half of their lineup. Darnell Nurse, Cody Ceci certainly have to be better, and if Stuart Skinner does get the start in Game 4, we knew pretty much with Jay Woodcroft he was always going back to Skinner. I don't know if Chris Knobloch will be the same way or if we do see Calvin Pickard start Game 4. I have a feeling it's going to be Pickard just to kind of give this series a new look for the Oilers, but we'll see what happens. He might go back to Skinner, so I think that's basically the story of this one, though, guys. Artur Shilovs was definitely the hero tonight for the Vancouver Canucks, and as good of a goalie as he's shown to be so far, I think the Oilers can break through. They got 8 goals on him through the first 2 games in this series, still got another 3, so I think they can find a way to get through this guy. They just have to get some more dangerous opportunities and obviously get some better goaltending, some better defense in front of their own net, and that will obviously go a long way in getting this series turned around. But, officiating, you can blame all you want, but ultimately it's the guys on the ice that have to get this one done, and I don't want to sit here complaining about officiating all night. I want to see this team find a way to overcome, find a way to get it done. So let's hope that they can do that in Game 4 and get back to Vancouver for Game 5 with a split here and a chance to possibly take the series lead back to Edmonton in Game 6 and close this one out. So let me know what you guys thought of the game. What do you think the Oilers should do here going forward in Game 4? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.